Let's talk about the two big quarterbacks in this draft. Neither of them, of course, in the college football playoff, but both of them involved in their team's bowl games. Cam Ward played a half for Miami and played well, 190 passing yards and 3 touchdowns against Iowa State. Shedeur Sanders did not have a good finale at all against BYU, threw 2 picks, was sacked 4 times, and BYU pounded Colorado 36-14. So how, if at all, did all of that impact where these things go, Mel? And what is our final evaluation is not anywhere near, it's really more the beginning, but as far as their careers now being done are concerned, where are we on Shedeur and Cam?
I got people calling me saying, Cam Ward quit on his team. Cam Ward, if you're going to start the game, you got to finish the game. Yeah. That's nonsense. I mean, I always say 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing, right? He gave them a half where they had the lead going into the half, and he said, okay, I gave you a half. And let's call it a meaningless game, right? That ain't no bearing on anything. If you get hurt in that game, you're not playing as a rookie in the NFL if it's a significant injury this late in the year. So for Cam Ward, he gave him an opportunity. Their defense couldn't get it done. They couldn't stop anybody. Bottom line is, go get some Ed Reeds. Go get some Ray Lewises. Go get some Warren Sapp. Go get some studs on that defensive side of the ball, and then you'll win some more games. Cam Ward had a heck of a year. There's a little recklessness there. There will be times where he'll miss an open receiver, but the bottom line is his arm talent is obvious. The way he can throw with different angles, the way he can move and sense is there. He's going to be intriguing. And it's going to be that we talk about that affirmed Alydar in a lot of drafts. We've always brought that up, Greeny. It's affirmed in Alydar coming down the stretch. Is it going to be Mariota Winston? Is it going to be this one or that one? Is it going to be Manning? Is it going to be Lee? Sometimes it's been one great one, not so good. Sometimes both of them weren't necessarily great. Sometimes they were. Look what happened here when you talk about the last draft, right? We got 3 that look like they're going to be franchise quarterbacks. They're going to go high. Now, people say, well, they're not graded as high. Who the hell cares? It's a positional that's positional value. Now, that's quarterback. So you're going to move them up. Who's to say? Look at the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Not all of them went number 1 or number 2 in the draft. And look at them. They're playing pretty doggone well. So these guys are going to go because they have to. And that's the bottom line. Whether you're going to talk yourself into it as we go through it, Phil. Everybody is. Shedeur is a guy who can surgically pick you apart from the pocket if you give him time. He's old school. Cam Ward's kind of new school. I'm old school. I'm old. I think old school is the best school. I still believe that. So Shedeur does it that way. Now, I said this week, I don't think Shedeur should have played in this game. I don't think, especially when you say insurance policies. When you got to do that for 2 players, I wouldn't want to play knowing I had that, because guess what? I'm looking at the NFL. This is a meaningless game. I think your mindset isn't what it needs to be when you know you have to get an insurance policy to go play a football game. Okay. I think you go in with a different mindset. I think BYU was hearing all about this stuff, and they're a pretty good football team with some guys on that defense going to play in the NFL. Tyler Batty, defense end, got after it. Right. Mm-hmm. So again, you're talking about Shedeur doing it a different way than Cam. Right now, Shedeur slightly ahead of Cam. Really, it's 1-1 Field. I haven't made that call. And Green said, hey, final call. Final calls aren't made till April. So there's some work to be done on those 2. But they're different. They're different. You can't compare these 2 because they're so different. One is pocket. One is moving around and improvising. So it depends which you like. And that's going to have to be what they determine. Right. Those teams at the top. When you're talking about, and look at all the teams. Tennessee, if you're going to give up on Levis, and that was mishandled in my opinion. Cleveland, Giants, we know what they're going to. Jets, Vegas is at 8, and New Orleans. So there's a lot of teams going to be vying. The Raiders missed out last year. They're going to be giving up a lot to go up. These are 2 quarterbacks, ironically, people say, well, they're overvalued. They're going to be overdrafted. But teams are going to move up to get them probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
you probably have to move up. If you're the Raiders, you want one of these 2. You're probably going to have to move up to get one of these 2, because guess what? Who's the 3rd quarterback? Ain't nobody you're excited about. So at the end of the day, these are the 2 guys, whether you love them or you don't, or you think they're overdrafted, you don't, they're going to go one in the top 3 of this draft.
Here's where I want. So it's obviously our first show of 2025. So it almost feels like an appropriate time to kind of give where I think the stock of these quarterbacks is at based off of my own evaluation, and then talking to people as they sink their teeth more and more and more into this class. And to be clear, it's not that GMs have ignored the draft by any stretch, but they've had a full season of work they have to do, right? They have to manage their roster day to day. Starting Monday, 18 GMs, for those that are still employed, won't be worried about the season anymore. They will be fully focused on the offseason. And head coaches, they obviously have done minimal work on the draft. So there's still a lot of work for them to be done. Let's start here. as Mel said, these are two very different quarterbacks. This might be, like if somebody asked you to compare the best pizza in all of New York versus the best pizza and whatever you think is the other best city for pizza in the world, whatever, Detroit style versus New York style. That might be a hard comparison. And Greeny, who lives in New York, might say New York till the day that I die. Somebody from the great city of Detroit may say, go kick rocks, right? It is a stylistic difference. We've talked about it before. But if you're looking for the quarterback that if he can operate within the pocket with time and space, is going to deliver the football precisely and accurately, that's Shedeur Sanders. If you're looking for the quarterback who might be able to manufacture a bit more magic behind a roughshod offensive line, who's got a bit more athleticism, who has a stronger arm, that to me is Cam Ward. And let's look at the teams at the very top of the order right now that might be in the quarterback market. So you can eliminate a team like the Patriots and the Chicago Bears, who are both locked into top 10 picks. You've got teams like the Cleveland Browns. You have the Las Vegas Raiders. You have the Tennessee Titans. You have the New York Giants. There's something that those four teams have in common. Those four teams all rank in the bottom 7, or I guess the top 7, depending on how you look at it, in terms of most sacks allowed this year. Sacks are not just an offensive line stat. They're obviously a quarterback stat as well. But offensive line play does often contribute to it. So I'm nervous about these quarterbacks stepping into situations, especially in the case of Shedeur, without fortifying the offensive line a whole lot. It doesn't mean that I am stating my case that Cam Ward is QB1 right now, right away, but it doesn't feel like these two players problem solve as well as the 3 quarterbacks at the top of the class last year. Now, yes, Jaden Daniels and Drake May and Caleb Williams have all taken a lot of sacks. Jaden Daniels has totally reshaped how quarterbacks run as a rookie. He surpassed RG3 for the most rookie rushing yards by a quarterback ever. Drake May is averaging more yards per carry than any qualified quarterback in NFL history. Caleb Williams, long ways to go there in terms of refining some things, but it's obvious when you see the natural traits there. So there's a long way to go, but I don't think that either quarterback is going to pull so far ahead in this race that by the time that we get to April 25th, it's Shedeur Sanders way up here and Cam Ward next step down, or Cam Ward way up here and Shedeur Sanders one step down. I just don't think we're going to have a unanimous decision by the time we get to the draft.